I've got a Kleenex in my hand, which is now a used Kleenex, and I've got to decide, should I put it in the trash? Should I recycle it? I'm going to put it in the trash. I've also got an aluminum beverage can here, which is now an empty aluminum beverage can. And again, I've got the same choice, into the trash or into the recycling bin. I'm going to recycle it. My name's Dan Benjamin, and I've been studying recycling since the 1980s, both as a college professor and as a senior fellow at PERC in Bozeman, Montana. So why did I make the choice that I made with that piece of paper? If I had thrown it into the recycle bin, turning that piece of paper into new paper would have used up an enormous amount of resources and would have conferred very little environmental benefits. Hence, because I like to protect the environment and conserve resources, I put it in the trash. With the can, on the other hand, by recycling it, when that can gets turned into a fresh new aluminum can, 95% of the energy used to make aluminum cans will have been saved, and as a result of that, I will have protected the environment and conserved resources. So for me, the choice was easy: recycle that can. Now, you've probably always been told recycling always conserves resources, that it always protects the environment, which probably started with your third grade teacher, is generally wrong. Now, it is true that with large-scale industrial processes, for example, making frozen pizza, making aluminum cans, the firms recycle all the scraps that happen along the way in the production process. The pizza company takes the scrap dough, puts it back in the next mix. The aluminum company takes the scrap, puts it back into the next batch of aluminum. It conserves resources to do this, and it protects the environment. It's even true that for large household items such as refrigerators, stoves, microwaves, dishwashers, there's enough recoverable material in there so that it conserves resources and protects the environment to recycle those items. But what applies to refrigerators doesn't necessarily apply to ordinary household trash, the sort of stuff that I was tossing in these bins here. How can you decide what to recycle? Well, here's an experiment. I've done it myself. You can try it. The night before your trash is due to be picked up, put some items out by the trash can with a sign on them that says free. Try it with a bag of aluminum cans, a bag of plastic bottles, a bag of glass, a bag of paper. You might even put out there a lamp that no longer works or a small appliance like a toaster oven that doesn't work. Then the next morning, go out there and see what's still out there in the alley. During the night, someone has come through the alley, and without any direction from you, they've figured out, they know, given current market conditions and where you're located, what makes sense to recycle and what doesn't. Now, however this experiment works out in your community, I'll ask you to do one thing. Whatever you find out, be sure you pass it on to your third grade teacher. If you'd like to learn more, please click here. You can read my policy series called Recycling Myths Revisited. Now, you'll have a choice to either read it in the paper version or the electronic version. The advantage of reading the paper version is that it increases the demand for trees, and so more trees will be planted. On the other hand, if you use the electronic version, then you won't have to make the tough choice: should I put it in the trash or should I recycle it?